The Jedi Code is often used as a mantra, but also as a unique and powerful text that contains hidden wisdom upon the deepest contemplation of it. Only through the deep contemplation of the Jedi Code, and using the mythology as a parable, can we truly find the deeper wisdom of the Code and the Force moving within it. There is no death, there is the Force. For the Jedi, we take up this path wanting to make the world a better place, wanting to do more, and to be more for the world. This is a path that is often selfless, but there is a selfishness in wanting to make the world better. Every action we do, and everything we are is finite. All things we experience, all people we know, all things that are, will one day come to pass as not being. Yet, they will remain, forever a part of the infinite all that is the Force. This line of the Code reminds us that while we live as finite beings, in a finite world, the Force is, and as the Force is, that means all things within the Force continue on as ripples, ebbs, and flows within it. There are no endings in the Force, and so, we should focus on the Force, and the moment, not the finite nature of the self, and through this trust its guidance and ways. In understanding the greater vastness of the Force, we break the Force down into parts, concepts, maybe even elements, or systems of energies. All of this uses finite definitions, endings, and a real sense to convey what the Force is. Death is the ultimate finite, the ultimate concept of ending. This line reminds us that the Force is infinite. There are no endings, and all definitions, all concepts, all tools, methods, and ideas, no matter how useful, are using the finite to understand the infinite all of the Force, which is beyond full comprehension. As we live as finite beings, we must understand that we are an aspect of the Force looking upon the vaster whole of the Force. Through this awareness, this line reminds us of the true majesty of the infinite, that the Force is, and that we are privileged to have the awareness of its incomprehensible nature, even if only through a finite lens. When all hope is lost, when there seems no way to make a difference, there is where you will find a Jedi making a difference. This line of the Code reminds us that when all hope is lost, there is hope. When there is no way to make a difference, there is a way to do something good that will lead to the larger change. When it seems all is lost, it simply means trusting ourselves, the Force, and our training to take us another step forward to bettering the world. There are no endings so complete that the Force does not provide new beginnings. There are no finalities so insurmountable that they are beyond the Force. Instead, in recognizing endings, death, and finality is an illusion, we recognize the infinite possibility of the next second, the next minute, the next hour, day, week, month, year, and so on, that some change will happen to make the world a better place. In this, as Jedi, this line reminds us we are called to make the world better. It is easy to focus on the destination and training, instead of the journey. Destinations are finalities, death being the ultimate destination and finality for all that live. Yet, the purpose of training and dedication to the path, the way, and the Force as Jedi is not about some arbitrary destination. It is about the experience of the infinite within the finite. As Jedi, we train to better ourselves and the world around us, but we also connect to the Force through our training to expand our awareness. We connect to the Force for the joy of experiencing its grandeur. In our quest for bettering ourselves and the world, this line reminds us that the destination isn't to be focused on, but instead the vast infinite of the journey. It reminds us that while our bodies will die, we will continue on in the Force. When the world is out of control, when we feel like we've lost, this line of the Code as part of a mantra reminds us there are always new beginnings. It reminds us that the vastness of the Force brought us to this moment, and that we have seen endings before, and have grown and overcame adversity. It reminds us that what seems like a defeat could be a new beginning, and that in the greater cycle there are no endings, only continuations. In dealing with endings, deaths, and what seems like finalities, it reminds us that the Force is, and in that infinite that is the Force, nothing ends. The Force being infinite means it is not bound by time, space, present, past, or future. All things that have been, continue on in the Force, and all things that are to be, will be. That all endings are new beginnings, and all things continue on in new forms. It reminds us to bolster ourselves when things seem bleak, and that when things seem final, to keep ourselves attuned to the flow of the Force, ready for the opportunity to make the world a better place once again. Force guide and protect you.